To BRRRRCashFlow investors. We're running a little bit late today. We had a bunch of recordings to do, especially with the 3-day coming up. So if you haven't registered for 3-day, make sure you register for the upcoming 3-day, and it'll be fun. I mean, this time it's going to be loads talking about Airbnbs. How do you scale? What's going on with flips? The flip numbers are back, right? And they're back in a hurry in terms of the amount of money you can make. There last year for about, maybe I'm going to say 4 months, 5 months, there was a little bit, the numbers were off a little bit, but flip numbers are back. So having said that, again, for everybody that is a member of BRRRRCashFlow investors, excited that you guys are here. For everybody else, invite your friends, family, make sure you register for the next 3-day, which is literally 2 weeks away, 2 weeks and counting. So make sure that you register, andrewholmesevents.com. If you're bringing somebody as a complimentary guest, just please make sure you let us know and that you have them registered. They don't have to pay anything, but they certainly have to be registered. Now, having said that, the first question for today, so today's Q&A, it's Dan. And Dan's question was, I have an opportunity to buy an outdated house from a family friend whose grandparents passed away. They want to sell the property fully furnished for under $200K, really only needs a facelift. This would be my first flip. I would not live in it. How would I go about a loan that doesn't base your debt to income ratio? So Dan, actually, this is fairly simple, that hopefully you're coming to a 3-day. We can certainly help you use your example and help you set up the loan right then and there if you're looking for that, if you are coming to the 3-day. But let me answer the question. So here's a couple different types of things you can do. You have 3 different choices. Choice number 1 is that you partner with somebody. You set up a loan that way. That's one way of doing that. Number 2 would be private money, right? If you were from Mastery, then I would suggest just go to, as long as we take a look at your numbers are good, property's good, numbers make sense, you can get private money purchase and rehab 100% out of Mastery and do your loan. Third way of doing it is go to National RE Funding. That's National RE funding.com, and there's a basic 4 or 5 questions that are asked there. Fill that profile out. It does not ask you for your social security number. It does not ask for your credit score. It just says, hey, you have good, bad, indifferent credit score. Where is it? And then Jesse will reach out to you and tell Jesse your situation. It is not based on your debt to income ratio. So that loan is purely based on the property itself. It is not based on what your debt is versus what your income is. So even if your ratios are a little bit high, it's perfectly fine as long as you have a little bit of reserves, you can do that loan. Now, having said that, I want to make sure that you understand this. The property has to make sense, meaning that the property has to be a profitable deal, because they will do an appraisal and they will want to make sure that the back end number for this particular property does make sense for you. So that is something that is important that you have to keep in mind, that as long as that's the case, then it's not an issue. The next thing is, oh my God, this is interesting. Miss Robin Wilson is asking this, and part of this even I am guilty about, that this is the elephant in the room. She says, how do I manage bookkeeping, inputting costs as I scale? Ms. Robin, I wish I had the answer for this one, right? If there is one thing that we suffer at is keeping track of all the paperwork. The more properties you buy, the more mess you create, the bigger challenges that you have. And I will be the first one to admit this, that even for me, right, I made 2 mistakes, I believe, in real estate during the time of growth, right? One was back in 2008, 9, 10, and that was kind of I should say carry over. And that's why my portfolio is not as big as it should be for the abilities that I have, right? There's no reason I don't own 500 houses. I don't. right now. There's only a few hundred, but it should be closer to 500 or 600. And the reason purely behind that was I delayed filing my taxes, right? I had to get everything caught up because I was like, oh my God, Andrew, what is wrong with you, right? And because the problem is this, that to really scale, to really grow, it's going to become an issue. It's something you have to do. And it's not even like I owed that much taxes. All my taxes were paid, actually. I owed maybe 10, 15,000 bucks for a couple of years, but rest of them all, they had been paid. Actually, Rahul had done a good job making sure they were all paid through the business. So it's not like I had any arrears. But the biggest problem was I just hadn't done my side of the paperwork and getting it all submitted, getting it done, blah, blah. And I'm sure, knowing you, Ms. Robin, that's not an issue, but bookkeeping is a big deal. I mean, you got to hire somebody either that is a part-time or somebody that is going to do that. Because, I mean, even for me, it's an overwhelming amount of thing. I've been kept putting off my appointment. I know the way Farah does it. I believe she has somebody that charges her a couple $100 to $300 a month, and then that person just does bookkeeping for her. This is something that you can even sub out to somebody overseas. Just the bookkeeping part, you're not giving them access to the bank account, but you're giving them access to the bookkeeping part of it, because that's a function where there's no risk in terms of to your accounts or any security risk from that level of it. But that is something that even I struggle with, and I honestly don't have an answer. The accountant that Farah uses, I believe, I'm not sure if they suggested to her the people that she's using. Then Rahul has an accountant. He has a bookkeeping office also within his office, so he provides that service also. So that's kind of what it is. Miss Jessie, question was, I made a seller finance deal with somebody and everything looks great. Now it's rained for 5 or 6 days straight, and my contractor went to the property to get some final measurements, and it looks like there's a roof leak. I haven't signed the paperwork or given a deposit, but that adds $8,000 to $9,000 to the work. Should I renegotiate with the seller on this to lower my out-of-pocket expenses? 100%, right? You should renegotiate with the seller if possible, right? Don't lose the deal. And I would definitely, Jesse, get this property under contract, because it's a good deal. It may still be a good deal, right? And and we're happy, just as a service to you. I'm happy to take a look at your numbers, just something fun for you, and look at, is the deal really making sense, and is this still a good deal for you? But if it's not, then it's okay to renegotiate and restructure the deal a little bit so that the additional $8,000 or $9,000 in work is accounted for. If it's a leak, if it's something small that can be fixed, you may be able to negotiate a much bigger number from the seller and get that work done for a very small amount of time. I can remember, actually, this was a property Farah owns in Lyons, and it was a property where we had bought it from auction.com, and similar sort of thing had happened. We go there as a group from Mastery. When I had looked at the property at one point, there was nothing wrong with the property, right? The property, I mean, the roof was completely shot, but otherwise the inside of the property needed redone, but that's that. And then when we went there as the whole group, now there was a tarp on the property, right, on the roof. So that's called change of condition, because when we saw it, even though, so basically we reached out to auction.com, said, hey, there was no tarp, now there's a tarp, so there's a change of condition. That's what the bank calls it. It's called change of condition. And we're like, well, clearly there was no leak, now there's a leak, that's why you guys had to put the tarp on. So I want a discount. So I asked for 12 or 13,000 bucks. They're like, oh, no, this is ridiculous. We're only going to give you, I think they gave me 8. I had the roof done for 6 or so, for 5,500, 5,800, whatever it was. And that was fine. So this is something 100% you should look at renegotiating, but get the property under contract. If it's a good property, don't leave it open. Somebody else will come in and scoop your deal. And if you need help, just for you, I'm not opening myself up to this, but if you need help, email us the details. We're happy to help you analyze the deal. We're not going to disclose where the property's at, but we can go through the numbers, and it'll be a fun example for this particular, whenever we do these lives. So next one is Ed. Who should I include when building my support team? Who are some of the types of people that I should be nurturing relationship with versus different people each time? So the biggest thing is this, that if you, Ed, are somebody that's trying to build a team, what I would do is this, that obviously if you're from Mastery, fantastic. If you're not, no big deal. What I would do is this, you want to find other people in the area that you are investing in. If you're, say, in the Chicagoland area, right, show up to the RIA meetings we do. This week there is a Hispanic RIA meeting, I believe, at Gina's office, which is a tacos and some drinks, that kind of thing, a party sort of a thing that they're doing. I would go to that, right? I would meet the investors. What happens is this, you want to make friends with people that are doing what you're doing, that are successful, right? For that, you don't need to be in Mastery. You just start looking at what are the projects they're doing. I mean, think about this, right? People who go to church, who do they hang out with? Other people who go to church. Gangbangers, who do they hang out with? Other gangbangers. What does that do? It builds a support system for them. So that's what you want to do is, and what you want to do is, you don't want to just talk to people that are, well, you know, I'm doing my fourth flip and I'm killing it. You want to actually meet people who realistically are building a business. So when you go, like this week, if you can go on, I believe it's Thursday, right, Lori? Okay, it's Thursday at Gina Diaz's office, Diaz Case Law, and you go to the party, right? This one is a Hispanic event with the name like Garcia, right? You'll be able to speak Spanish with everybody. So what my point being is that you want to go and find out. Go talk to Gina. Say hello. Hey, I'm a new investor. I'm trying to build a team. Who do you think here in the group? Who do you think I should talk to? Right? Talk to Pablo, talk to Jesse will be there, Harry will be there. Will be a bunch of people over there, and find out from them, hey, where are you doing things? What are the areas you're flipping, or what are the areas? So what that will do is it'll start building a friendship network. Then you need an attorney. You need a good loan officer that can do some hard money loans for you. And these should not just be industry professionals. They should be people who own properties on their own. Why? Because now their opinion is based on their own experience as well. There's a lot of great loan officers out there. They can do the loans for you. But would it not be better for you if there are people who actually practice what they preach? Right? That's who you're looking for, is somebody who practices. They have a portfolio. They've used the products that you're saying. They're not just selling. So rather than just having a real estate agent that sells properties, right? There's a lot of great real estate agents out there. They're absolutely wonderful in terms of buying properties from. But imagine being able to work with somebody that owns a bunch of properties. Now they can say, hey, you know, this one doesn't make sense. Here's why. They will understand all the details, the nuances. So that's where I would start. I would start making friendships, because those are the easiest to do. Then I would start talking to some loan officers. Reach out to Jesse. Jesse will be there on Thursday, right? Go say hi to him. Say, hey, I was listening to Andrew talk, and he said I should come and say hi to you, right? He's doing a bunch of projects in a lot of areas that are spread out. Make friends with all those people and go and say, would you mind if I just stop by, take a look at your project, right? See, that's the way. Hey, man, can I bring you a cup of coffee, right? Don't ask them out and say, hey, man, I want to take up your time and, you know, you should teach me. That's because then it's like, hey, man, what are you doing for me, right? But if you say, hey, man, I'm out, I'm going to be going to your house, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, bring you a cup of coffee, we can maybe chat. What that does is it starts building a friendship, a rapport with people. And then you're looking for a great attorney. Well, if you go to Gina's office, look no further. Talk to Gina. She owns 50, 60, 70 properties, right? In 3 years. Think about that, from zero. So she has a huge network, a massive network of people. And now you need a good attorney. You need a good title company. Well, we have Desiree, right, at Fidelity. So that's a great title company for you. Just use all the resources we all use, right? You don't have to be in mastery for that part of it. You just duplicate it because they have already been trained how to deal with the situations that you're going to run into. So that's where I would start. And then you need to network with agents, right? This is something important. Anytime you see a good property, you see a listing you want to go see, call the listing agent directly. Don't, and say, they ask you, hey, are you working with an agent? No, I work directly with the listing agent. It's easier for me. You know the most about the property. Let them make a little bit of money when you buy a property, right? And be loyal to them. If they send you a property, then don't go around them and then don't go to a different agent, right? What you start doing is you start building a relationship, friendship with people that are going to be not only your vendors, but these are going to be other service providers. So next week, we have a vendor showcase here actually at the office, right? A lot of the vendors that we use, from the air conditioning people to the people who do the setups for Airbnbs to people that do a bunch of other services for us, they will all be here. So in one place, you'll get everybody. You'll get the whole kit and caboodle of your team, right? Just plug and play. Right? Don't even try to go, and I'm not getting anything out of this. So I'm just suggesting to you, this is a team we have built for us because these are our needs. And these are hundreds and hundreds of hundreds. Today, thousands of investors out of Mastery that have literally bought over 20,000 deals that use them, use that exact team. See, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Find somebody who's done something successfully, duplicate it. Just take it, copy, paste, and then as you go along, you'll find people that you like to work with better than somebody else, and that's perfectly fine. Hopefully, that answers the question for you, so make sure you don't miss those two meetings. One is Miss Gina is serving up a bunch of free tacos, a little bit of, I think, cerveza over there. That's what you call it, I think. Coronas, whatever. You guys get my point. And then the networking meeting. Those are, for everybody listening, those are meetings you guys should go to. One of them is Thursday, and then one of them is next week. Having said that, sorry, we were a bit late today getting started, but hopefully you got good things out of today's meeting. We will talk to you live on Wednesday, and happy 4th of July, guys. Maybe some of you guys are still off and you're not working today. So if you are, be safe. Again, 4th of July. God bless America. Talk to you soon.